Now, from the station you count on, in-depth investigative coverage of today's biggest stories. This is KARK 4 News at 10 in high definition.
Tonight, the latest as severe weather pushes through the state. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Bob Clausen.
And good evening from Morrilton, everyone. I'm Jessica Dean, and you just have to take one look behind me and you can see that Morrilton really did bear the brunt of the severe weather that ran through Arkansas today. I want to get to some video that was taken with a cell phone that one of our viewers sent in. You can hear some bells whistling. You can see what's called a shelf cloud forming, and that is the system that moved through Morrilton today. We're told about 50 homes were damaged in some way. Some had the roofs ripped off. Others had trees coming right into those homes. We're told the municipal complex, the fairgrounds, both sustaining a fair amount of damage today. So Morrilton definitely taking on a lot of this storm damage that we saw today. There was also a gas line break, as well as a lot of people without electricity. Now, they are working on that, and it is getting better, but unfortunately, this is not a first for Morrilton. They've seen a lot of tornadoes come through here in the last few years, but right now you can see we're just dealing with rain. And we want to turn now to Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan. And Keith, I'm really interested. We've now transitioned more, I think, from severe weather threat into that flooding threat.
That's right, Jessica, and the severe weather threat has ended for Arkansas. The tornado watch that was in effect earlier has expired. We are now starting our transition from a severe weather event to a potentially life-threatening flash flood event across most of the state. You can see areas of moderate to heavy rain, mainly over central and western Arkansas, from near the Searcy area back to Pine Bluff through Little Rock, Hot Springs, out to the Oklahoma state line. If you remember watching last night, this very similar looking picture was situated over central and eastern Oklahoma, where they picked up anywhere from 5 to 7 to 8 inches of rain. And now it's our turn. This area of moderate to heavy rain with a few embedded thunderstorms extends all the way down through Louisiana, eastern Texas, and then all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. We'll put it into motion. You could see very little eastward advancement of this system. Thunderstorms continue to form off the Texas coast, running right up through Louisiana into Arkansas. It could be a very difficult and dangerous night as we head through the night tonight and through the day tomorrow, with significant flooding possible. We'll have your complete forecast coming up in just a little while. Jessica?
All right, Keith, thanks so much. And of course, we are looking toward that flood threat, but right now, especially here in Morrilton, we're looking at storm damage cleanup. And I want to bring in KARK4's Brittany Johnson. Brittany, you were here very early on as soon as we got those phone calls, and you've been here with people all day long. Tell us what you saw.
Well, Jessica, just to give people a really good idea of what it looks like all around Morrilton, just take a look behind us. You can see here a mother says that her husband and children were inside of this home when the tree fell on top of it. There's water all inside of their homes. Thankfully, no one was hurt here, but this is what it looks like across this neighborhood. Many of their neighbors are dealing with damage just like this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the video.
The wind started blowing over which way, and power went off.
Automatic downpour, heavy winds, 60, 70 miles an hour from what I'm seeing of the damage.
People in Morrilton say they barely had time to take cover Tuesday.
It was supposed to be a small shower, but as the storm moved through and after it left, 911 center became inundated with calls of trees on houses, power lines down.
In all, over 50 homes were hit, many in the North Hills subdivision. More than 4,000 people were without power. And energy crews worked furiously to repair a gas line that ruptured when the wind uprooted a tree in this family's yard.
We didn't expect this. It came up out of the blue, and it was quick, and it was over quick, but in a 30 seconds to a minute.
Down the street from North Hills, more damage at the high school as sporting gear lay strewn across the field and in the streets. The fencing also knocked down. If you go about a mile down the road, you'll hit the municipal center and city fairgrounds. Both also fell victim to the storm's wrath. Concrete buildings that have been here for over 35 years destroyed. Officials say so far only one minor injury has been reported, and they hope they don't see any more as they move into the next stage, a costly cleanup.
We're hearing some cracks in the back, and there's probably some trees that haven't fallen and could fall at any time. So the hazards are numerous, and especially with nightfall, people just need to be very careful.
As he said, Jessica, it is getting dark now. While the storm is over, they really want people to know that the danger is not totally out of the area. They want people to be aware that there are down power lines all over the city. Another hazard that really concerns them is that people may be trying to use chainsaws to cut down trees when maybe they don't really know how to do that just yet. So the combination of the chainsaws and the down power lines, they really want people to be careful. They do expect this cleanup to take a couple of weeks, Jessica.
Yeah, and it always does, and people always showing up. They're so generous with those chainsaws and helping hands, but you do have to give it just a little time to make sure that it's all secure.
Right, safety first.
Right. All right, Brittany, thanks so much. And we actually went out into the community and talked to one specific person today. She, unfortunately, no stranger to tornadoes at all. She's actually already been hit once before, and today came home to something else. Take a look. A rather large surprise awaited Suzanne Williams when she got home today.
One room, there's a big hole in it, and it's water all in it, and pictures were damaged, so hopefully we got to them in time.
And unlike lightning, storm damage does strike twice. The tornado hit Williams' home back in November of 2005, destroying a room and outdoor shop.
I've been there before, and I didn't want to do it again.
As Williams surveyed this damage, she also acknowledged it could have been a lot worse. No one was hurt, and insurance is going to cover the costs.
Sad. It's scary, but a lot of people lost a lot more than we did.
Now Williams and this entire community must move forward, digging their roots even deeper.
They're strong. Have to be. You don't have a choice. You got to go on.
And that describes the people of Arkansas. We all know this. We have been through these storms, unfortunately, time and time again. And of course, this community is going to be able to build back what was hit and what was lost. You know, you look at homes like this one, it's going to take a while, but they're prepared to do the work. They're prepared to work together, as they always do. And tomorrow, we are told that NOAA crews will be on the ground about 8:30 in the morning, trying to determine exactly what caused this. Was it straight line winds? How fast were those winds going? What strength were they? So they will be here using all of the techniques that they have, and we'll probably know much more by this time tomorrow. Bob, back to you.
All right, Jessica and Brittany, thanks very much tonight. And from there to another area hit hard, North Arkansas's Baxter County. Take a look at these photos of the County Life Mobile Home Park damaged by the storm here. Sent to us by the Baxter County Sheriff's Office. Trees were uprooted. One even landed on a mobile home there in Midway. 7 homes damaged, but deputies say no injuries, and everyone is accounted for. Another aspect of this storm system emergency responders have to focus on, aside from the powerful winds, the chance for half a foot of rain to fall in the next 12 hours, flash flooding. MEMS has its Special Operations Rescue Team on standby. Its members are trained on swift water rescue techniques. On Tuesday, boats were aired up and stocked with life-saving supplies. They're loaded and ready to go. Rapid deployment will happen if need be. Over the past 2 years, MEMS swiftwater rescue teams have saved over 20 people in Pulaski County alone. Emergency responders injured, 1 killed, trying to help others in the line of duty. It happened overnight off Highway 161 in Jacksonville. KRK4's Jancy Sheets reports on the death of 56-year-old Fire Captain Donald Jones, as colleagues and friends still wondering how and why it all happened.
A dark and dreary sky shadows the Jacksonville Fire Department today as those inside come to grips with the death of a 31-year veteran of the department.
I appreciate you calling, and if we need help, we know who to call. It's more than a friend, it's more than a brother, it's a part of you.
Fire Chief John Vanderhoof lost not only a colleague, but a personal friend when 56-year-old Donald Jones was killed last night, the first in the line of duty death in the history of the Jacksonville Fire Department.
Easygoing, happy-go-lucky. He was just a good person.
About 11:30, Jones was responding to an accident on Highway 161 South where a car had run off the road, hitting a gas main. That's when authorities say the crash victim's son, Bryce Allen, drove a van through the accident scene, killing Jones and injuring firefighter Jason Bowmaster and police officer Daniel DiMatteo.
We do have witnesses that he did accelerate. He did go around emergency vehicles in attempts to hit the officers.
They were doing everything that they needed to do, had their vest on, and police directing traffic. Everything that could be done was done. It just ended up happening.
Bryce Allen is charged with second-degree murder and criminal attempt to commit murder. As the investigation begins today, so does the healing process.
We're sad. I asked everybody to pray for him and his family and pray for our fellow firefighters. He was always faithful to his fire department, his friends, and his family. And so I commend him. My hat's off to him. I respect him highly.
Jancy Sheets reporting. Of course, we'll continue to follow this story for you. We do have some encouraging news tonight. The firefighter and police officer injured in last night's accident have now been upgraded to stable condition.
Now from KARK4, your weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan.
Well, good evening, folks. I do want to start with a bit of good news. The severe weather threat has ended for Arkansas. The tornado watch that was in effect was allowed to expire at 10 p.m. Now to the bad news. We are changing a phase in our weather tonight. We're moving from a severe weather threat to a potentially life-threatening flash flood threat across many portions of central and western Arkansas. Take a look at this rain. This picture really has not changed much since this afternoon. For much of central and western Arkansas, moderate to occasional heavy rain extends from well off to the north of Arkansas. In fact, this channel of rain goes all the way up to southern Minnesota, through Iowa, through Missouri, through Arkansas. Further off to the south, that rain continues to move southward through Louisiana, eastern Texas, and even go further south than that. It actually moves through the extreme western Gulf of Mexico, where we're seeing repeated showers and thunderstorms developing off the coast of deep south Texas, channeling northward right through the central and western parts of Arkansas. And that picture is likely not going to change as we head through at least the next 12 hours. We are expecting to see tremendous amount of rainfall. For that reason, a flash flood watch is in effect through Wednesday night for much of the southwestern two-thirds of the state, from Mountain Home to Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Monticello, all the way back to the west toward the Oklahoma and Louisiana state lines. You folks in northeast parts of Arkansas, that doesn't mean you're not going to see heavy rain. It's just that area of rain will be slowly rotating eastward tomorrow. You too will likely see a flash flood watch for your part of the state as we head through later tonight and into the day tomorrow. We first started the day with areas of thunderstorms, some of those severe across portions of central and north central Arkansas. But take a look at this picture for the last 6 hours. This precipitation is not moving anywhere, and that actually could be a very dangerous situation because we're going to see repeated rainfall across the same areas over and over again. In fact, we've already seen nearly 2 inches in Little Rock over the past 6 hours, and the heaviest rain now just starting to move into south central and southwestern parts of the state. It's only going to get worse as we head through the nighttime hours tonight. We've got an area of surface low pressure and an upper level low out and across western Texas that are nearly stationary right now. They'll only slowly begin to move northeastward through the next 24 hours. But as we put our maps into motion, you're going to see plenty of moisture continuing to ride up through central and western Arkansas. By tomorrow afternoon, that area of heavy rain begins to rotate to the northeast. Our heavy rain threat will end by late tomorrow night. We'll still have a chance of rain through Thursday on into Friday, but it does look like we're going to see a significant amount of flooding across Arkansas with a lot of rain expected for the next 24 to 36 hours. As far as what we're expecting after that, low pressure moves northeastward by Friday. It looks like we're going to see improving weather by Saturday, but not before upwards of a half a foot or more of rain as we head through the next 24 to 36 hours. Your 7-day forecast is going to call for those temperatures to be steady or falling during the day tomorrow. Rain and thunderstorms, some of the rain heavy at times. A life-threatening situation, folks. Do not drive into flooded roadways. 16 of the 18 people that lost their lives in Arkansas in flooding last year did so by driving into flooded roadways. Just don't do it. Rainfall chances drop Thursday and Friday. By the weekend, we dry out and begin to clean up. And, of course, you can get the latest forecast on Tom 94.9 FM. They play it all.
All right, busy evening, and it's going to be a busy
night and a busy day tomorrow. Be careful out there, folks.
Keith, thanks very much.
Right.
Still ahead this evening, a red tail on his P-51 made him a hot commodity in the skies over Germany during World War II. Tonight, an honor for one of Little Rock's very own Tuskegee Airmen.
It was a child acting before they thought about the repercussions.
A youngster's prank lands him with criminal charges. We'll have details on that. And we're keeping an eye on your weather because it is rolling across the state and it will continue to do so. These stories and more coming your way in 60 seconds.
This is KARK4 News at 10 in high definition with Bob Clausen, Jessica Dean, Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan, and Sports with Kerry O'Hara.